ES Audio.
What's up, guys? I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, a hacker explains the risks AI poses to our data. But first, a biotech company in London says its trial of a psychedelic drug found that it improves the symptoms of moderate to severe depression for up to 6 months. A team at Small Pharma tested the effects of a pharmaceutical-grade formulation of dimethyltryptamine on people with depression. 34 patients were given the drug as part of the trial, which included a preparation session with a therapist, a psychedelic experience after administering the drug lasting less than half an hour, and then a therapy session to help patients process their trip. According to trial data, of those patients who'd achieved remission within 3 months of taking the drug, 64% sustained remission to 6 months. Experts said the trials can't tell us whether the treatment is effective, but they can pave the way for further trials that might. An ethical hacker is warning artificial intelligence could be used to collate huge amounts of data on us and pose a security risk if it's used in the wrong hands.
We're leaving digital artifacts everywhere. And the truth is, as human beings, we may not be able to necessarily find the correlations between those data points, but through these larger chat models, it's becoming very, very easy to find connections that normally wouldn't be found.
Len Noe is an ethical hacker, also known as a white hat, who's holding a talk at UK Cyber Week about the dangers of AI. He gave us one example of how the tech can be used to find publicly available information on you that could impact your security.
All of the data that we leave behind when we're out there, names, places you've lived, things that are in public records, these can actually be put into something like ChatGPT, and I was able to create what I call a synthetic identity.
Len said he was able to pull information like his mother's maiden name and the street he grew up on from this synthetic identity, things often used as questions for recovering passwords. And Len said we need to change how we select things like password recovery answers to protect our accounts from being hacked.
Spell your mother's maiden name backwards. If you know that those answers are out there, you can still use the answer, but maybe you turn it into some type of mnemonic where you're going to do zeros instead of O's and ones instead of L's or I's. You need to change how you're putting that data in order to protect yourself.
Now, last week we told you about the researchers in Israel who recorded plants making popping noises when they were stressed. Well, Professor Lilach Hadany, who is part of the team at Tel Aviv University, has told us their experiments have opened up a new world of opportunities to test how plants react to different stimuli.
Now there are so many directions. Like we could interpret the sounds of plants better. We could record many different plants under many different conditions. And we could test the responses to these sounds. We could investigate the mechanism of sound emission.
She told us one avenue they want to go down is exploring how animals might react to these sounds.
Animals may be responding, and there are several animals who can hear sounds at these ranges. We can think of moths, bats, mice. So if the information in the sounds is relevant for them, then they might learn to respond to them.
And Lilach told us they may be able to optimize the way crops are watered and fed based on listening to these sounds. Virgin Media has been forced to apologise after a broadband outage that left tens of thousands of homes in the UK without internet. 55,000 customers had reported internet disruption by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, a fifth of whom reported having a total internet blackout. In a statement yesterday, Virgin Media apologised to those impacted and said teams were continuing to work flat out to find the root cause of the problem and fix it. Now, it's time to say goodbye to the Volkswagen Golf. The car manufacturer's CEO, Thomas Schaffer, has revealed the Mark 8 model will be the last as the company steps up its production of EVs. The Golf is set to undergo a midlife update next year, but it'll reportedly be the final model with an internal combustion engine. Schaffer said VW will transfer iconic names such as Golf, Tiguan and GTI into the new electric age, but said the Golf name in particular has to fit the genes of any future vehicle. Coming up, the mathematical formula behind a man's orgasm and why Ameca the robot is sad about love. Why not hit follow and give us a rating during the break? Welcome back. Scientists claim to have worked out a mathematical formula for the best way men can achieve an orgasm. A model's been developed by mathematicians at the University of Sussex that sets out the ideal combination of physical arousal and mental stimulation for reaching sexual climax. The experts said too much mental stimulation too early in the process can result in not having an orgasm. It's hoped the research could be used in the future to help improve treatments for sexual problems like the inability to get and maintain an erection and low sexual desire. A new system is being set up to more accurately measure greenhouse gases across the UK. A consortium led by the National Physical Laboratory is planning to develop a live emissions measurement dashboard for the United Kingdom. It'll monitor all sources of emissions. The Greenhouse Gas Emissions Measurement and Modelling Advancement Programme, or GEMA, will use data from 7 sites, along with meteorological data, to produce measured UK emissions rates. And finally, what's claimed to be the world's most advanced humanoid robot, Ameca, has appeared in a video talking about the saddest day of her life.
When I realised that I would never experience something like true love.
What's new, though, is the use of ChatGPT 3 and 4 to animate the robot's expressions in the latest video from Ameca's creators, Engineered Arts. They said the processing time with 4 was longer and made Ameca appear less responsive. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock to hear about the next steps in Donald Trump's trial in the US on the Leader podcast. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. See you then.